Right. Okay. So let us get started. Yeah. In the last class, we have tried to identify the scenarios where this networking comes into play. Yeah. Let us quickly go through that, and then we will start our networking basics. What are the different networking basics which you should be good at, and then we will get into a little bit of networking in the world of Microsoft Azure. Right. So, is there any disturbance on the line? Okay. Just give me one moment. Now is it better? Wonderful. So let us get started. So in yesterday's class, what we have tried to identify is generally we have different kinds of scenarios when it comes to networking. We will have single location based organizations, and then we have multi-location based organizations, right? So the challenges which we face across these organizations are very much clear, which are very much clear, and basically you need to connect through multiple organizations, and then we said that organizations use some kind of a WAN network to connect multi-sites. Okay. And then we have spoken about cloud, and in cloud generally you deal with some stuff which is virtual. When you deal with stuff which is virtual, like virtual machines, we have to deal with a network which is also virtual, which is virtual machines. Okay. And then we have spoken about the public connectivity and the private connectivity, where we have tried to tell that, okay, so whenever you are connecting over the internet directly by either by using a name or an IP address, we would consider that to be the public address. And whenever you connect right from a restricted environments like your organization, you have to be in your organization network to connect something, then that is something which we call as a private connectivity. Okay. So then we have basically tried to understand the scenario, saying that we have a particular team which is responsible for maintaining data center network. We have an architectural team, we have administrators who are responsible for deploying the applications, and then we have project teams who develop your applications for that. And then we have basically given a simple application where we have tried to tell that this is an application which your organization is trying to build, or is does have in your on-premise network, and the whole idea is to run this application on Azure. So if I have to run this Azure network or this kind of an application on Azure, then we will have altogether different kinds of challenges, because we have web servers which should be accessible over the public network, and then there should be some kind of connectivity between this web application which is running in a public network to some of the other components of your application which basically tend to run in your private networks, right? So how do you do that? And for that we have identified some of the activities or some of the topics which you should be good at, this is basically what we have discussed in our last class, right? And whenever you want to understand networking, we need to understand certain basic aspects about networking, and that is what we are going to start our today's class with. So let us get started from there. Okay. Sorry. Right. So let me basically get started with networking basics. The first topic which I want to speak about is IP address, and I'm quite sure everyone knows about IP addresses, right? So, what is the basic purpose for IP address? What is basically IP address? Okay, I'm quite sure that everyone in this room knows about IP address. Generally, you will be writing IP address like this, both I and P as a capital. Yeah, okay. So, generally, IP address is nothing but, okay, a numeric assigned to each device connected to a computer network. You can call it as network. Okay, right. So, why would we do that? Okay, because it has two stuffs, or it has a major stuff. Okay, to identify the device, and then there is one more stuff which is called as addressing. So basically we have two kinds of functionalities, right? Every device that is connected to a network will have an IP address, and the reason why we have an IP address is because it should identify the number uniquely. It should identify the number uniquely. Okay, so every system that is connected to any computer network needs to have some kind of an address. Okay, right. And then when you look at IP addressing, okay, so we have two flavors of it, right? Two flavors of IP addressing. Okay, the first one is something which we call as IPv4. Okay, and IPv4 is basically a 32-bit number. Okay, so if you basically do your math, okay, so 32-bit number, each bit stands for two digits. So at a max you would be able to create a network IP address for 2 power 32, since our numbering system starts with 0 minus 1. Okay, so this is the maximum number of IP addresses which you can go with this scheme. Okay, but if you understand, there were loads of devices that were getting added, and then we needed an IP addressing scheme which is much more vast than this. Then IPv6 started, okay, which is a 128-bit number. Okay, so totally we have two different schemes of addressing. One is IPv4, the other one is IPv6. Okay, clear on this? Okay, so we will be discussing about IPv4 itself, because that is what we would end up using in cloud. It doesn't mean that you cannot use IPv6, but the whole idea is for whatever networks which we create, IPv4 is more than enough. IPv4 is more than enough. Okay, right. So IPv4 is a 32-bit number. That's basically what it is. Okay. Now let us basically try to understand about IPv4 addresses. So if you want to if you want to basically look at IPv4, okay, so I have already said that IPv4 is 32-bit addresses. So if you want to understand what are the maximum number of devices which we can connect theoretically on a 32-bit number, okay, IPv4 address has the size of 32 bits, which, okay, theoretically allows us. to connect to 2 to the power of 32 addresses. Okay, but understand one thing, we are not allowed to use all the addresses as some of them are reserved. Okay, the basic reservations that get over here is we have a multicast addressing, and then we have private networks. These are the basic reservations which we have. Okay, but let us not get into that reservation. There is no need for us to remember all the possibilities of all the possibilities of an IPv4 address. So an IPv4 address is written as address is represented as, okay, a notation which stands for, okay, this is called as dot decimal notation if you want to basically understand it correctly. X dot x dot x dot x. Okay, each x over here is a 8-bit number. Each x over here is a 8-bit number. Okay, so if you basically do your math correctly, if it is a 32-bit number, if it is 2 power 32, 8-bit number will be what? 2 power 8. So x can be anywhere between, oh sorry, between 0 to, since we start the number from 0, it is 2 power 8 minus 1. Okay, if you want to do this math, 2 power 8 comes for 256. 256 minus 1 is 255. Am I clear on this? Each bit over here is an 8-bit notation, right? So that is where, that is how your IP addresses sound like. Okay, clear so far? Okay, so if you want to look at range of IP addresses now, your IP address will range from 0.0.0.0 to 255.255.255.255. Okay, now whenever we look at IP address, our IP addresses looks something like this. For example, if you open your system and then execute a very simple command called as ipconfig, you will be getting IP addresses over here. Okay, so there are many IP addresses. That's because of different adapters which I have in my system. Okay, right. So basically, if you look into these IP addresses, each IP address will try to tell you some number. So something like, okay, this, or something which looks like this. Okay, so these notations are IPv6 addressings. These are IPv6 addressings, right? That's okay. Now, if you look at my IPv4 address, this is my IPv4 address, and there is something called as subnet mask, and there is something called as default gateway. Okay, let us try to understand what these things are. Okay, now, okay, if you are using command prompt on Windows, you can use ipconfig, launch command prompt, and execute ipconfig command. Okay, so when you execute ipconfig command, it looks something like this. I will try step and sketch. Okay, right. So basically, you'll be looking at this kind of a scenario, right? Where you would be having something like IP address, subnet mask, and default gateway. See, we all know that IP address is basically used for uniquely identifying certain stuff on your network. which I can make out. Okay, but do I seriously require the other two stuffs? That is something which you need to understand. Okay, so preview dot slash images slash vnet5 dot png. Okay, so we have learned already that whenever you see this IP address basically stands for giving a unique number in your network so that you can communicate with it. But why do I need this something called as subnet mask, and why do I need something called as default gateway, right? So IP address uniquely identifies your device. Okay, so in the above case, the IP address was 192.168.0.106. But why do I require subnet mask and default gateway? So do you think we require subnet mask and default gateway, or unnecessary a system is giving more information? Okay, what is your opinion on that? Is it necessary, or do you think it is an unnecessary information? Okay, so there is one response which I got. It is necessary. So if it is necessary, then we might need to understand why it is necessary, right? So that is where we will try to basically get into a very important area of computer networks. Okay, so generally there are some basic networking principles. Okay, a device in a network can communicate with other devices in the same network. Okay, so basically the whole idea is one principle. What it is trying to tell us: a device in a network can communicate with any other devices in the same network. Yes, so from my home, okay, I am able to basically, right, I'll be able to ping any other system which is in the same network. So here we have a challenge. Okay, so what I see is IP address. Okay, so let me go with this stuff. Okay, when we look at IP address, it is representation of, okay, one is network identifier, okay, and the second thing is host identifier. So your IP addresses tries to tell you two things. It is just not unique number. It is combination of two things. Your any IP address will try to tell what is your network ID and what is my host ID. Okay. So network identifier is nothing but ID of your network. Okay. So all the devices with same ID can communicate with each other. Okay. So host identifier is device ID on your network. So for every device which you connect in the same network, what we have is we have the same network identifier, but we would have different host identifiers. Am I clear on this? So if you and me connect to the same Wi-Fi router of your home, you and me will have the same network ID, but the host ID will be different for your mobile phone and my mobile phone. Is this statement clear? When you and me connect your mobile phone and my mobile phone to the same Wi-Fi router which you have at your home, you and me will be sharing, or your mobile phone and my mobile phone will be having the same network ID, but they would have different, they would have a different host ID. So what is an IP address combination of? IP address is a combination of na network identifier and host identifier. So this is good, but how would I know what is network ID and what is host ID by looking at IP address? Okay. So for example, I share you this IP address. Okay. 192.168.0.106. Can you tell me what is the network ID in this? I will write one more IP address, 10.10.12.14. So can anyone in this room try to tell what is the network ID of this? So someone had given me an answer saying that 192.168.0. How? How did you told that? Okay. See, understand one thing. It is not possible to know network ID from a IP address without knowing what subnet mask is. Without knowing what subnet mask is. So what did subnet mask basically is trying to basically reveal us? It is trying to reveal us what is my network identifier. What is my network identifier? So shall we try doing that? Okay. So I will write this is my IP address. Okay. And then I am writing my subnet mask is 255.255.255.0. This is what we have seen, right? Now I have to reveal what is my network ID. Now, if you remember, there are basically four positions over here. This is the first position, 192, 168, 0, 106. Okay, each position being a 8-bit number. Now, what are the 8 bits in your IP, in your subnet mask where you have 255? First position, second position, and third position. Okay, so the first three positions have 255. Is there any confusion in that? No, right? It is very simple. Now, those first three positions will become your network IP address if you write it down, 192, 168, 0. Okay. Some people tend to write dot 0 because whatever is left over, you just write it as dot 0. Okay. So let us try one more. IP address is 10.10.11 12.14, and my subnet mask is okay 255.255.0.0. What will be my network ID now? Okay, how many positions do we have? 255s, two positions. So what are the first two positions in your IP address? So 10.10. For the rest of the stuff, just write 0.0. For rest of the stuff, write 0.0. Am I clear on this? Okay. So whatever is left in your IP address, okay, that becomes your host IP address. In this case, it is 106. In this case, it is 12.14. Am I clear on this? Yeah, good. So let us copy this and let me try to write it down. Okay. Now, there is one more thing that is linked with this IP addresses, with this IP addresses. Okay. Hari, we have not gone there that far. Okay. We have just started. We'll go there. We'll reach there. Okay. So right now we are not here yet. Okay. Fine. Okay. Fine. So now the host IP address, the host ID, okay, size will reveal size of network. That is how many devices you can connect on the network. Okay. So the size of host ID will try to reveal, okay, how many devices you can connect on the network. So let me try to take the same example. So here, what is the size of host ID? Okay. How many bits do we have in this host ID? Everyone agrees that it is 8? Yeah. So 8 bits. Now, if you tell 8 bits, then it would be 2 power 8. Okay. 2 to the power of 8. So, but if you remember, I cannot use this one IP address dot 0 dot 0. Yes or no? Because it is network ID. Do you agree with me on this? I cannot use this 192.168.0.0 because it stands for network IP address, right? And then I cannot use, okay, one more IP address also because that stands for broadcast address. That stands for broadcast address. So size of network would be 2 power n minus 2. Okay. Here n is equals to number of or size of host ID in bits. So in this 2 power 8 stands for 256 minus 2. So I can connect 254 devices. I can connect 254 devices. Okay. Now if I have to do the same thing over here, size of host ID is 16 bits. Now the formula would be 2 power 16 minus 2. Okay. So which comes to, I think, 2 power 16. Okay. 65,536 minus 2. Okay. So 65,534. Am I clear on this? Is this simple? All right. So Now, what is subnet mask trying to tell us? Subnet mask is trying to tell us, it will try to help us in identifying what is a network ID and what is a host ID. And having a subnet mask will also help us in determining size of network. Size of network. Okay. See, bits, how can we find? Right now, you need not worry about how can we find. We are discussing about simple IP addresses. Each position stands for 8 bits. Okay. So when you are saying subnet mask is 255.255.255.0, that means whatever is left for host ID is 8 bits. Here, each position stands for 8 bits. So they have left 2 positions for us. 2 into 8, 16. Okay. So that is basically what it is. Are we clear, sir? Yeah. Okay. Now, if I need a network, if I need a network which has to connect to 200 devices. Okay. So I want to create a network. I want to create a network. Okay. Based on, I want to connect 200 devices. So whenever you design a network, you design a network based on how many sizes or what is the size of your network. What is the size of your network? Okay. Right. So what is the size of the network which he's trying to tell? He wants to connect to 200 devices. Okay. So from this, I have to decide my subnet mask. From this, I have to decide my subnet mask. Okay. So let us try to look into this. Now, if you look at our formula, 2 power n minus 2, okay, is approximately equal to 200. Is approximately equivalent to 200. Okay. So if you try to look into this case, this is basically what the mathematical formula is. Okay. But initially, what networking has done is, okay, to make your basic networking decisions, okay, they have given us something called as network classes. They have given us something called as network classes or address classes. Okay. So you basically, okay, I will still write it as older approach. Okay. Use classful addressing. So let me go to Google and then type this term. What is this classful networking or classful addressing? So I'll go to Wikipedia, that is more than enough. And in this, if you basically look into this addressing, what it tries to tell is, you have the following options. You have the following options. So what are the possible subnet masks which you can have from this table? Okay. Okay. Possible subnet masks which I can have in this approach is, okay, one is 255 dot 255 dot 255 dot, or let me start with over here, 255 dot 0 dot 0 dot 0. This is something which this world calls it as class A networks. Okay. And then we have something called as class B networks. Class B networks is 255 dot 255 dot 0 dot 0. And then we have the third networking scheme, which is class C. So in that, your subnet mask could be 255 dot 255 dot 255 dot 0. So if you basically look into the stuff, we have these three things. Along with that, we have two other classes. One is basically class D, the other one is class E. So if you see both of them, you are not supposed to use because they are reserved. they have a different purpose altogether. Okay, so now if you understand what are the subnet masks which I have, only three, right? So if you look at this subnet mask here, number of hosts or number of addresses, what would be the number of addresses? How many positions are there for hosts? 3. Each position stands for 8 bits. So 2 power 24 minus 2. Okay. So you can ignore minus 2 there, but I will still write it down. Okay. Here, number of addresses which you can have in class B network is 2 power 16 minus 2. And number of addresses which you can have in class C address is 2 power 8 minus 2. Okay, so this comes to approximately 65,000. Okay, so this comes to approximately 250, and this comes to, okay, let me write it down, 2 power 24. Okay, let me write down this one. So now, if you are using a class A network, you can connect to somewhere around these many devices. If you are connecting to class B network, you can connect to 65,000. If you are connecting to class C, you can connect to 250 devices. Now, how many devices did I want? 200. So what do you think is the network which I need to take? Okay. So now, based on classful networking, I need to use class C network. Do you agree with me? Okay. Now, right. So this is our first scenario. Okay. If I need a network which has to connect to, okay, 400 devices. Okay. What is that I need to do? If I have to connect to 400 devices, what is that I need to do? Okay. You are trying to tell me that use class B. Okay. But class B is of size 65,000, which is way beyond 400. Yes or no? So many IP addresses or many addresses will be wasted. Do you agree with me on this? Okay. There will be many addresses. This will be wasted. So initially, when basically everything started, right? People would like to use these kind of addressing mechanisms. But the problem with that is, in these cases, we were wasting a lot of IP addresses. Okay, right. So you are not using, but you are creating a devices of 65,000 and all of that stuff. Okay. Now, if I would want to design my network, okay, closer to reality, closer to reality. Okay. So then what has happened is, okay, a new addressing scheme, a new IP addressing scheme called as, okay, CIDR, classless interdomain routing. Okay, so we have got something called as CIDR notations. Okay, so classless interdomain routing convention came into play. Okay, now in classful networking, how many options do we have? Only 3. Why do we have only 3 options? Why do we have only 3 options? IP address is what? 32-bit number. 32-bit number notated as what? 4 8-bit numbers. Yes or no? Okay. Do you agree with me that with that? So IP address is a 32-bit number, right? But it is notated as 4 8-bit numbers. 4 8-bit numbers. Okay. So basically now in classful networking, okay, each position, okay, is taken into consideration. Okay, so totally how many positions do you have? Each position I would call it as byte. So totally how many bytes do we have in IP address? 4 levels. Okay, so since we have 4 levels, okay, since you cannot make this 0, you have 3 possibilities. You have 3 possibilities over here. Am I clear on this? Now in classless, okay, basically they have done a very simple stuff. Okay, each bit is taken into consideration. So rather than considering these numbers, okay, as bytes, they consider it as bits. They consider it as bits. Am I clear on this? What is the basic difference between classful and classless? Classful tries to consider everything as every position as bytes, whereas classless tries to consider the stuff as bits. Now let me try to look into it. So each position, okay, which is byte, if you look at it, it has 0 0 0 4 zeros, okay, to am I clear on this? Now what is that subnets are looked as? Subnets are looked as bits. Subnets are basically looked as bits. Okay, now if you look at subnet mask, okay, subnet mask, what we used to write till now is 255.255.255.0, something like this. Okay, but in the case of CIDR rotation, the same subnet mask in CIDR notation is basically considered as, okay, 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4, yeah, dot 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. Okay, if I convert this to binary, is it not how it would look like? Yes, if you want you can use calculator, convert 255 to binary. Do you agree with me on this? Because we have 32 bits to play with. Now try to look at this. Okay, now network ID, okay, or network will be basically till the point where you have consecutive ones. You cannot write something like 101 and call it as a network ID. Network ID should be consecutive ones. So what is the network ID over here? Network ID is all the consecutive ones. Till what point are you seeing consecutive ones? Till 24 positions you are seeing consecutive ones. Am I clear on this? Okay, so in CIDR mask, in CIDR, now convert subnet into binary, subnet mask into binary. Okay, right. Now let me take this network 192.168.0.0. Okay, and my subnet mask is this. So totally, how many consecutive zeros do you have? 8. Okay, so this is size of your network. Okay, till what position do you have consecutive ones? Okay, so if you look into here, if you try to make your math, 8 here, 8 here, and 8 over here, so totally we have 24. Okay, now size of network would be 2 power 8 minus 2. So this network is capable of connecting to 254 devices. Okay, so this is our first scenario. Okay, now let me try to speak about the next scenario. Next scenario is my network is same and my subnet mask is this. So totally how many consecutive zeros do you have now? How many ones do you have now? How many ones do you have now? 23. Do you agree with that? Because I've reduced one. 23. So how many zeros? Okay, to get how many zeros, just you can very easily do your math. 32 minus 23. So what is it? I get 9. So what would be size of my network? Size of my network would be 2 power 9 minus 2. If you do your math, it comes somewhere. 2 power 9 is 512. So it comes to 510. So if I want to create, a network, okay, which is closer to my needs, what do you think is better, using a class full or class less? Classless is better, right? Yeah. Okay, right. Now let us try to convert this into binary, convert this into decimal. Now to binary to decimal converter, try to write the binary representation. What is the value of it? 254. Okay, so what is the subnet mask looks like now? 255 dot 255 dot 254.0. Okay, and CIDR notation, over here tries to tell, write your IP address 192.168.0.0. Okay, slash, how many ones do you have over here? 23. Okay, so when it comes to here, when it comes to basically here, okay, the notation is 255.255.255.0, and CIDR notation would be 24. Am I clear on this? Yeah, let me do one last stuff over here. Okay, right. So now what I would try to tell is, okay, my network address, okay, I want to connect 1000 devices. I want to connect 1000 devices, 192.168. Okay, so I want to connect 1000 devices. So what is that I need to do? Okay, so if you basically do your 2 to the power calculator, okay, 2 to the power of 10, okay, so power of 2 tables. Just have a look at this table, man. uh, Let me go back. Power of 2, let us see if they have given the table by any chance, right? So now how many devices do you want to connect? 1000. So what is the closest number which basically takes you to 1000? What is the smallest number which takes you to 1000 in this table? What is the smallest number which takes you to 1000? Okay, now, okay, create a classless network for 1000 devices. Okay, so refer here from this table. Okay, find closest or smallest number that is approximately 1000. So for that, what is the value which we got? We got the value as 10. We got the value as 10. Okay, so now the value which we got was 2 power 10 is equals to 1024. So our value would be 10. Okay, so 10 for host ID. Okay, so 10 for host ID and rest for network ID. Rest for network ID. So what would be the subnet mask? Okay, so subnet mask would be 1 2 3 4 8 positions. 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, let me try to copy that 8 positions. When I'm not good at this. Okay, right. So 8 plus 8 16. Okay, so I have to leave 10 for zeros. So how many am I left with? 32 minus 10. Yes, 10 positions I have to leave for host ID. 32 minus 10, 22, right? 16. And if you basically look at 22, right? So I have to remove these two things, 0 0 dot 0 dot 0 1 2 3 4 1 2 3. Am I clear on this? Is this very difficult? Okay, if someone says that create me a network of 2000, then you would try to find out how many zeros, what is the number that would take you to 2000, right? So 32 minus 11, that comes to what? 32 minus 11, what would be the value of it? 21 positions, right? So you would have first 21 positions as 0 and rest of them as this. Now if you basically convert this into numbers, then you would be getting as 255 dot. Okay, so this would be, we have lost 252.0, right? Something like this. And now if you look at subnet mask, now what are the possibilities you can have? Okay, 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. Okay, for each position, and then this, and then 2 zeros, and then 3 zeros, and then 4 zeros. Okay, and then 5 zeros, and then yes, for each position these are the values, right? Now if you do your math, this stands for 255, this stands for 254, this stands for 252, right? So from here, let me basically do this. Okay, 248. Okay, so if I remove one more zero, 240, right? 224. Okay, now 192, and obviously 128. So if you basically have to look at, if you basically have to look at these values, this is what it means. Okay, so we'll continue this discussion in our next class. Okay, but is it interesting, right? So we would continue this discussion in our next class, where we will try to understand how the subnetting works and just see it about the CIDR notation. Okay, guys. So I think I've slightly exceeded on time. And then today in the evening, we will be basically having a Linux Foundation class. You will receive the email. If you have not received the email, speak with Satish. Thank you, sir. We'll meet again in our next class.